everyone, my name is Seth, and today I'm going to give you my review of Loki Season 2. I absolutely loved Loki Season 1. If anybody were to ask me what my favorite Disney Plus MCU thing is, Loki Season 1 is probably toward the top. It's really close up there with WandaVision. And so I was super excited for Season 2. But before I go any farther, go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. I also want to say thank you so much for 100 subscribers. That is so exciting. That made my day. The other day when I saw that, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who has watched, who has commented, who has liked, who has subscribed. I've just had a lot of fun doing this so far, and I'm really excited to see where this can potentially continue to grow. I'm just having a lot of fun getting to share my thoughts with all of you, and it's just been a really good time. And 100 subscribers is just a really cool milestone. Before I jump right into the review, I will say I have done some little mini reviews. They're up on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, even on this channel here, some of the YouTube shorts. So if you have not seen those, go check those out. I did episodes 1 through 5. And so in this review, I'm going to kind of talk about some of episode 6 and my thoughts as a whole on Loki Season 2. Just so you're warned, there will be spoilers in this review. I'm going to talk about this show as if me and you were sitting on the couch watching it together. So just so you are aware, there are spoilers in this review. So jumping right into it, I loved this last episode. I loved this whole season. But talking about the last episode first, it was so good. It had an epic finale feel to it, and that's exactly what I wanted. They had some really cool time travel stuff. There was some really great conversations, great performances, and I think they ended this season really well. I was saying, even from the first mini review I did, I hope they can finish this up well, because sometimes the Disney Plus shows struggle to finish well. They can start well, maybe go 4 episodes, even 5, and be really good, and then struggle to kind of wrap everything up. But I think they did that really well here. But this show is a lot of fun. This season was so good. It's incredibly well made. It takes some really kind of wild abstract sci-fi things and lets you in on it. It doesn't try to go over your head with anything. It tries to keep you up to speed. Like I said, it's a lot of fun, and you can tell that there's care in every single aspect of this show. It is just competently made from top to bottom. The story here is a lot of fun, although you do have to pay attention. If you're the kind of person who wants to just throw something on, kind of watch it, kind of be on your phone at the same time, I don't think that's going to work here. You have to pay attention, or you probably will get lost. Like I said, you're dealing with a lot of sometimes difficult, kind of high concept, time travel, time slipping, multiple branches on the timeline. There's a lot going on here, and if you're not paying attention, you will get lost. But thankfully, they explain everything really well. So if you are paying attention, you'll be right along for the ride. And this is a show that you want to pay attention to. It's so well written. I can't see how anybody would just be sitting on their couch, having this in the background and scrolling on their phone. Here in this last episode, my eyes were absolutely glued to the screen. There was just about nothing that could take me away from watching this episode. Like I mentioned before, they go for some pretty big and wild sci-fi concepts, and they do it well. They do a great job of keeping you up to speed, and that's a bunch of credit that goes to the writing. And for the actors, I'd have to say some of this dialogue was probably difficult to get down, because you're dealing with a lot of really high science fiction, time travel, multiverse kind of language. And there's specifically one part in episode 6 toward the beginning, after Loki has kind of done his time slipping thing. He's trying to figure out how to expand the loom. during that part, just some of the dialogue he had, I immediately thought, I don't know as many people who could deliver this dialogue as well and as quick as he did. And the writing team has done such a great job of tying everything together with something that I thought was kind of solved for one episode at the beginning, and then we'll move on to the next thing. They really do a good job of bringing that back, weaving it into the rest of the story, weaving it into the story of the season and into the whole show, with us going back to previous moments, even from season 1. Everything just really worked together. And I think the story implications here are big for the MCU, with Loki learning that the Loom is just a failsafe to still protect the sacred timeline and destroy all of the other unnecessary, quote-unquote unnecessary branches, with Loki now destroying the Loom and kind of using his new abilities to kind of wrangle all of these different timelines and trying to make sure they live. He's kind of taking on a new role, kind of like He Who Remains, but somebody who wants to protect these timelines and all of the people in these timelines. And maybe this will have big implications for something like King Dynasty or Secret Wars that is coming later down the line. I absolutely love the cinematography here in this season. It is like a handheld style, and it really just gives it a unique look. It makes it stand out and really has this kind of energy about it, and they're able to do some really interesting camera movements with this, and I just love how this show was shot. There's not a ton of action sequences here in this season, but I think the ones that they do have are done really well, although I think this show is interesting enough without having to have like the big over-the-top action sequences. The whole cast is really good here, and I gotta give special props to Tom Hiddleston. I mean, he's the star. He shows why he is the star. He was so good in this whole show. He had an incredible performance here, and it's really impressive. I love how he portrayed the character growth for Loki, even from the first season until now. It's just very, very well done. And this show and his performance has made me more of a fan of Loki. Of course, I love Loki as a villain. He was probably one of the MCU's best villains, but I was never really like a big, huge fan of the character as a whole, if that makes sense. Don't get me wrong, I've always loved Tom Hiddleston's performance. I loved it all the way up through Endgame, but when they announced they were going to do a Loki show, I was like, no thank you. I really don't need a Loki show. I still didn't have this over-the-top love for this character that some people did, and this show has kind of changed my thoughts on that. Tom Hiddleston has some really incredible emotional moments here in this season, and I love him in this show. I also absolutely love Owen Wilson. He is so good, and he brings such a heart, and he's just so grounded. And I absolutely love the scene in episode 6 where Loki goes back to kind of their first interrogation. Just his performance there is just incredible. I loved the casting for Mobius. I thought it was a great idea to bring Owen Wilson into a show like this, but I loved the chemistry between him and Tom Hiddleston, and I love the character of Mobius, and I really, really hope we get to see him again. Sophia DiMartino also excels in this season. I do like how she was given more to do emotionally with this character, and she did a really good job with it. And Ke Huy Quan is so good in this. He's just a fun addition, and like I've said, if you want somebody to come in and steal some scenes, you hire him. He's a lot of fun, and he just brings a great energy. The whole cast is so well-rounded, and they give some really good performances from Victor Timely, Renslayer, Miss Minutes, Casey, B-15. Like, everybody makes a big impact on this show, even if they don't have a ton of screen time. And this cast is a big reason of why this show works so well. The sets and costume design here is really nothing short of incredible. I love the look of the TVA. It's just so cool, and it's just so unlike anything else in the MCU. And the CGI is really good for the most part. There's only maybe a couple moments where things look maybe a tiny bit off, but there's nothing really that pulls me out of the show. And I love the kind of spaghetti effect whenever timelines start to unravel. They used a lot of real sets here, and I think that absolutely makes a difference. Overall, this was just a great season of TV. Obviously, I want more just because of how good it is. I will take more of this show, but I don't think the 6 episodes bothered me here. I think they told a complete story. The 6 episodes does typically bother me. Like I mentioned earlier, they either feel like they're stretching out something that could have been a movie, or they're really trying to cram things into 6 episodes. But I honestly didn't feel that here. I felt like each episode was very well paced. And looking back over the whole season, I feel like all of these 6 episodes worked well, and they were extremely well paced. This was a well performed, well written, and fun sci-fi comic show. These 2 seasons of Loki as a whole are special. Season 2 by itself is special, and this might end up being my favorite Disney Plus Marvel thing. It might have overtaken WandaVision. The creators said they went into the season not having a plan for a 3rd season. However, I would love a 3rd season. I bet some of this is going to have some consequences and some implications down the road in future MCU movies. And I'm excited to see the next time some of these characters pop up. But that's it. That's my review of Loki Season 2. Have you seen this season? Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. I would absolutely love to have a conversation with you about it. It was just so much fun. I love this show so much. Did you love it as much as I did? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. You can follow me on social media pretty much anywhere @CinemaSeth, and I'll see you next time.